Go.
This is going to be a dramatic reading.
Ooh.
Just another rainbow hanging over me. Just another rainbow dripping from my tree. Welcome to our podcast, episode 20. So that was obviously the exceptional lyrics from the fabulous 2024 smash Just Another Rainbow by Liam Gallagher and John Squires.
Oh, of course, Just Another Rainbow.
Some incredible lyrics there. My favourite bit of the song is the bit where he recites the colours of the rainbow.
Oh my God, I've not heard it all the way through.
Do you want to pause the podcast?
What, to go and listen to it?
Yeah.
No. I got about 30 seconds in and I had to turn it off.
You need to listen to it. It's quite a piece of work.
My goodness, I can't believe you went to the trouble of notating the lyrics.
They don't take much notating.
Well.
I particularly like the line, dripping from my tree. It's Sunday.
Yes.
I've got a feeling this podcast is going to have a bit more of a Sunday vibe. I'm feeling a little bit tired.
Oh, well, look, we'll pick it up. You know, we've got some interesting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, okay.
And we've got another submission for Entrance to the Halls.
Oh,
which is a good one.
Yeah. Have you got anything you want to talk about in relation to the last podcast before we get into that? Did you want to sort of like tie up any loose ends? Anything else occurred to you about Rock School?
Oh, just it's great, and I've watched a little bit of it because it's all on YouTube, and it's just the fact that Jeff, the drummer, does look like a sixth form technician. Yeah, and he's just got that grumpy kind of just the positioning of his teeth is just, it's sublime. Yeah. And what a ragtag group of people they are.
Okay.
They don't look like a band in any sense.
I think we all need to go and explore that.
But yeah, it's great. I can't see me watching the whole thing, but very much like the later albums of The Fall and the continued existence of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, I don't need to know about it. I'm just glad it's there.
Cool.
Okay.
So here we are. We're going to enter the Eternal Hall of the 4-track Gods.
Yes, we had a submission from an old friend of ours called Russell. Now, I've been thinking about Russell.
Yeah.
He's really pivotal.
Pivotal
in us getting involved in music, because prior to when we started hanging out with Russell in 1987, my God, that's a long time ago, I used to record little songs on my Casio keyboard straight into a tape deck. In secret, I did all this, and I'm pretty sure you found the tapes and just took the piss.
Probably.
Yeah, you probably did. You're an older brother.
Probably it's the sort of thing.
The thing about these tapes, they don't exist anymore. And I don't have a tape deck anyway. So even if they did exist, we can't hear them. So then we started hanging out with Russell. Now, he was in your year at school, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the weirdo.
Yeah, but when did you start hanging out with him?
Oh, like towards the end of school. Yeah, year 11.
Yeah. That's fifth year in old money.
Yeah. When we were doing our GCSEs.
Yeah.
And, he was like an interesting person at the school. And I became like a trainee interesting person, hanging around with Russell, trying to learn interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Like how to back comb your hair.
Absolutely. Russell was the king of that.
and apply blue lipstick and listen to music, weird music, not big country.
No. I mean, you were into the Smiths, and we both discovered the B-52s, and I think that was one of the things that kind of linked us with Russell.
Yeah. So he just used to come around our house.
Yeah, we used to listen to records, and then you went to France with school when you left school. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then Russell came around and we started writing songs.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. And we'd not really done anything prior to that. But yeah, that was kind of the start of it. Anyway, Russell.
He sent us a song, hasn't he?
He sent us a song.
What's going on with that piano?
I've got a theory.
You've got a theory?
Yeah.
So this is a psychedelic jam. And you know, we've all done it. We've all been there with the psychedelic jams. And the Eternal Hall of the Four-Track Gods is a broad church. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's definitely got potential.
Yeah.
It's you know, you just get in a room with some guys,
yeah,
or whoever, and you just dig in on that chord or two chords,
yes,
and you know, rock out. We've all done it. We did it. We've got tapes of this kind of shit.
I mean, my theory, listening to it, Russell was bang into loop. He was so into loop, it was ridiculous.
Loop. The psychedelic rock band, trance rock band, formed in 1986.
Yeah.
Krautrock influence. I saw them at the Reading Festival in 1989. Nice. They were possibly the loudest and possibly, I don't know, I'm sorry, but I thought they were probably one of the most boring bands I've ever seen.
I can't see them going down particularly well at a festival.
It kind of dissipated. The sort of the trance-like rock dissipated because it was outside, where I think it would probably work better inside a club.
Yeah. But that recording that we just heard by Russell's band, 69, that to me is the sound of what would happen if Loop ever played on Jools Holland. And Jools is there on the piano.
There he is. There's Jools on the piano.
He's just trying to get involved.
He is, isn't he? He's giving it a go. And, you know, actually, I've listened to this recorder, and towards the very end of it, the piano player starts trying to get a little bit more kind of boogie-woogie.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
I mean, I've listened to it.
Listen to the end. Listen to the end. You got it. Also, there's a good bit in it where the tape cuts out. I think someone's kind of recorded over part of the jam. So we'll listen to that. See if we can hear anything in the background. See, Jules is expanding his part there.
Yeah, but then it just stops.
Getting a bit rhythmical with that.
It was like a salsa beat.
With that left hand. A bit doorsy.
Yes, a little bit doorsy, yes.
So, yeah, I like that. So that's Jools Holland. Sorry, that's Loop on the Jools Holland show from 1988. That's good. I think it's got to go into the eternal halls of the 4-track gods.
Can I say, is it going in on merit or is it going in on the fact that it's Russell?
It's going on a combination of features, I believe.
Okay, go.
Obviously, as I said, Russell, pivotal member of the history of our musical family tree, and also now you've said it's Jools Holland playing with Loop. I'm really digging it now because I've got the visual picture.
It's a nice image, isn't it?
It's a good image, right? So you've kind of
I've sold it to you.
You've sold it to me, basically. So, yeah. So that's it. So, T-shirt on the way, Russell.
What do you think Luke would have said to the classic Jools Holland question, what was the first music you ever heard? He probably would have said the 13th Floor Elevators or something.
Possibly. Yeah. I don't know. I hope he would come up with something more interesting. But, probably not.
Now, obviously, Russell was a member of our probably first proper-ish band, The Lovelies. And we actually sold tapes. We recorded tapes and sold them. And I remember I was in my last year at school. I was in my 5th year, year 11, whatever you want to call it. And kids in my year bought tapes off me.
Cool.
It was good.
Yeah, it got us into the whole music thing. And The Lovelies were a bit of a thing for a while. We wrote some songs. We're gonna listen to one, aren't we? I think this one's probably the apex of The Lovelies recorded output.
Yeah, now this is a room recording, and this is The Lovelies. I think you're playing bass, Russell's on guitar, I'm playing really annoying keyboards. And we've got the drum machine, and there's a lady singing it.
Yeah. What I like about this is it sounds a little bit like we've kidnapped somebody and we've put them in a basement and we're forcing them to sing on the song.
Which is possibly quite similar to what actually happened.
It is similar, but I don't think it was. No. For legal reasons, let's stress it wasn't actual kidnap or abduction.
Yeah,
so her name was Eloise.
That's the Halls, and that is Russell getting his T-shirt and a bit of the Lovelies.
Russell's going to get a yellow T-shirt.
Okay.
Because I've not got many T-shirts left, so I'm going to give him the yellow one.
Okay.
But if anybody else has any more recordings that you'd like to send in, we will consider them for entry into the halls.
Yep.
And we like hearing the stuff.
And if you've got any stories to go with them, that is brilliant as well. Otherwise, we'll just make up things like it's Loop with Jools Holland. So now we're going to have two songs which are going to go head to head for a potential place on the second volume of The Best of Johnny Domino. God, that's a very long link, isn't it?
Yeah, let's just say, here we go. This is what we normally do. We're going to listen to some songs that we made and talk about them.
Okay. Now, this is another one where we have an introduction from our friend Jim, former lead vocalist in Johnny Domino, the later years.
Hello, Giles. Hello, Steve. And hello, dear listeners. I'm Jim. To me, Carry On Domino is an obvious candidate for a Johnny Domino best of. And it's one of several songs that are a collage of Giles and my lyrical offcuts. Now, I had intended to say a fair bit about this approach to songwriting, about songwriting in general, and about parts of this song, but I've changed my mind. Instead, I've decided to present to you an audio word cloud for the song. It may help if you imagine it being read by the guy who used to read the football scores on Grandstand, or as a shipping forecast. So, here goes. Marks. Camera. Action. Niven. Flynn. Resistance. Pimlico. Passport. Ken. Hattie. Babs. Sid. Phantom. Flan. Flinger. Sally James. Large cool store. Alex. Harvey. Sensational. One man. His dog. Lollop. British Rail Teacup.
As your natural resources put us down like empty horses. Shortcomings make you who you are. Ignorance will get you far. No matter how they insist, you must try to resist. We tried it once, but we didn't like it, so we put it back on the shelf. We tried it once, but we didn't like it. They said it was bad for our health. We tried it once, but we didn't like it, so we put it back on the shelf. We tried it once, but we didn't like it. They said it was bad for our health. On target, locked and centered for the kids' TV presenter. Who's the blueprint for the moon? Who started singing soul in a fake Atlantic twang? Won't you let me hang? We tried it once, but we didn't like it, so we put it back on the shelf. We tried it once, but we didn't like it. They said it was bad for our health. We tried it once, but we didn't like it, so we put it back on the shelf. We tried it once, but we didn't like it. They said it was bad for our health. We tried it once, but we didn't like it, so we put it back on the shelf. We tried it once, but we didn't like it. They said it was bad stir the spoons around our heads, reminding us that we're not dead. Stir the spoons around our heads, reminding us that we're not dead.
I like the end bit. It's like we really have to make sure that everybody has left the room.
It's bonkers.
It's like, yeah, let's make sure everybody's gone.
Yes.
Make sure everyone's stopped listening. We're going to just do this bit at the end for too long.
Did we used to end sets with that song?
Yeah, probably.
I think we might have done.
Yeah.
Jesus. I've just been reading the notes on the Bandcamp. Now, there was a version of it which was released on a 7-inch compilation single called Flying Time Number 1. I don't think there was ever a Flying Time Number 2. And it was released on a mini label called the Octane Foil Recording Company.
Okay.
Split 7-inch single featuring us and obviously 1, 2, 3, 5 other bands.
Wow.
On a 7-inch.
And that's an alternate version to that one.
Yes, it's got ridiculous Ronnie Hazelhurst trumpets.
Oh, I kind of want to hear that. But that one's on the album, The First 100 Years, which is the Miserable album by Johnny Domino.
I think there was an interview that I think you did with, was it City Lights magazine?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you called it the Soul album.
Yeah.
It says the first 100 years is definitely less abstract, maybe a bit more emotional. It's our soul album. That's a direct quote from the article.
Okay. Well, listening to it now, my view has changed.
It's pretty miserable.
And I think it is our miserable album. And I find it quite hard to listen to out of all of our stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not 100% wholeheartedly recommending it to anybody at the moment, but maybe that might change.
Yeah.
I mean, other people might find stuff in it that's good. But
I mean, if it helps, Carry On Domino is the only track on that album that sounds like that.
Yeah.
Everything else does not sound like that.
No.
You know what that song's based on?
Not really, no.
Musically, it is entirely based on Why Does It Always Rain on Me by Travis.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
That is what it is. I think about, God, I think it was 2000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they were ruling the world.
Yeah, no, I had that album actually.
Wow.
It's got a lolloping beat that's kind of like, why does it always rain on me? Kind of
that's exactly what it was.
Lolloping thing, like that, yeah. But it's got an added layer of horribleness to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the Cardiacs because it's not as mad as the Cardiacs.
There's something there, yeah.
But it's kind of got a bit of that sort of thing going on, which is kind of weird. Jim sounded like he quite liked it, which is good. which is good.
At least somebody does.
Yeah, and he kind of got into his word collage there.
I loved that.
So you can sort of see where he's coming from with it. It's kind of like retro British, like a carry-on film, I suppose.
That was
So yeah, I mean, what's your favourite carry-on film?
Carry On Screaming.
Is it?
Is either screaming or camping?
No, Khyber. Up the Khyber is the best for me. Just the title is a double entendre.
What about Follow That Camel?
Good one too.
That's the one with Phil Silvers in it.
But it's a lost version of Britain, isn't it? It's a Britain that is no more.
Yeah, disappearing.
The kind of Johnny Foreigner, very arrogant view of the world.
Yeah.
Very, very sexist.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, it's like, I think we were kind of probably laughing at it in that song. The other thing that it reminds me of is Rent-A-Ghost. Do you remember Rent-A-Ghost? The TV program Rent-A-Ghost.
Yeah.
And there's a bit with the keyboard, which is, it's like a horrible keyboard sound. It's like, it's like it sounds like a really cheap, terrible keyboard. So we probably used one of Mark's expensive keyboards and made it sound bad.
Made it sound cheap.
And it sounds like Rent-A-Ghost, which I don't really remember much about, but it's just like a weird sort of like distant memory of a program that was on kids' TV. That's really old, though. That's really old. Loads of people won't remember that.
The people that we are possibly talking to might do.
All the other Stephen Gileses out there.
All those other Stephen Gileses will remember Rent-A-Ghost.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't remember anything about it. I don't even know what the business was, Rent-A-Ghost. Why would you want to rent a ghost? What was the deal? And there was Miss Popoff. She was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a pantomime horse.
Something like that,
yeah.
So, yeah, Rent-A-Ghost.
Rent-A-Ghost was a British children's television comedy show originally broadcast by the BBC between 1976 and 1984. The show's plot centred on the antics of a number of ghosts who worked for a firm called Rent-A-Ghost, which hired out the spirits for various tasks. The firm was originally run by Fred Mumford, a recently deceased loser who felt he could find work for ghosts whose lives were as unsuccessful as his. His first and only recruits are Timothy Claypole, a mischievous medieval jester with a comical lack of knowledge about modern technology, and Hubert Davenport, a delicate Victorian-era gentleman who was morally shocked by the modern world.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird Johnny Domino song, that one.
That is really strange.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably the last time I wrote a bit of music and taught everyone basically what to play.
Yeah.
And I don't know if everyone just revolted after that.
Yeah, that was the last song that you wrote in entirety. And I think we all kind of were slightly weirded out by it, but went along for the ride.
Yeah.
But I think you were getting quite a weird influence from various places.
Yeah. We've mentioned Daniel Clow's comic 8 Ball before.
Yeah.
And we were very much into it. And there was a story in the first 10 issues of it called Like a Velvet Glove Cast in Iron. Now, when that story finished, and it's a weird story about a man who goes in search of his wife, and it takes in sort of very extreme violence, and a woman who looks like a fish called Tina. And when the story finished, there was a little advert in 8 Ball that said, if you would like to buy the soundtrack album, you can buy it here. And it was by a band, well, we thought it was a band at the time, called Victor Banana. And John and Albert managed to buy it for me. They bought it for my birthday. They bought it from, was it Page 45, the comic shop in Nottingham?
Still a good comic shop.
Is it still there?
Still a good comic shop.
Excellent. Well, that's great.
If you're in Nottingham, get down
Page 45.
Yeah.
On the road that will always be Selectedist Street.
Yeah.
So they bought a copy of it for me on CD. And it's about 10 or 12 minutes long, 10 songs. And it's absolutely nuts.
It's really weird.
Let's just have a little snippet of it. I mean, it's only a minute and a half long.
Slumber precious, crumpled horse heads in the ash can leap in sleep. Viscous paste will form in mouth as you shut down and say goodbye. Dreams of pipes forgotten will haunt your waking hour. Slumber precious.
Wow. And there's a whole album of stuff that's as weird as that.
Yeah.
And I would describe it as a very strange and very particular sonic
Sensibility.
Yeah. That doesn't really sound like anything else.
No.
And I think you were definitely getting some of the chords and
Oh, yeah.
the sort of sensibility of that, definitely,
Mm.
in the Carry On Domino.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really, really odd.
But we got quite into it. And I remember when probably a few years later, we started sending tapes to record labels. We sent one to the label that released that, which was called Jenkins Peabody. And we wrote a very fawning letter about, you've released the work of Victor Banana, aka Tim Hensley, and we think he's a genius. Have a listen to our stuff. Hope you like it. And Jenkins Peabody was actually run by Tim Hensley.
Yeah.
So he wrote back to us. So we'd written this fawning letter about what a genius he was, and he wrote back to us, and he liked our stuff, and he sent us a copy of his album, which was Refrains by Neil Smythe, which is available to listen to on Spotify, and is great.
But that last song is not on Spotify.
It's not on Spotify.
So
no.
that's our first that's our first entry into the songs that are not on Spotify.
Yes, which is something that you haven't mentioned before.
It's going to be a new feature.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, songs that are on Spotify. You've got to find them, and I think that's a pretty hot entry into that. So well done for mentioning the first one.
It's a pleasure.
We'll see what else we can come up with.
Yes. Okay. Now, the second Johnny Domino song for possible inclusion on the next volume of our best of tape is a song called This Is a Tune.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything about it before we play it?
Yeah. This is a bit of a bluesy type song from the Erewash Delta.
Yes.
And the phrase, this is a tune, is a phrase that was much used in the dance music culture.
Yes.
That I was, as I previously mentioned, I was on the fringes of during this point in my life. People would say, this is a tune, quite a lot.
Yes.
While listening to a DJ dropping a banger. And I decided I wanted to use it in a non-dance context. And I think the song is about, I don't think it's about anything other than the fact that, music's great, really. 1, 2, 3.
This is a tune, this is a tune, this is a tune, this is a tune. I've been rolling around, white labels on my back, building a following that respect me to the max. I won an award for pretending I'm not white. I feel like a drama queen on soap opera night. Yeah, it's not far from the truth. Been spent
youth. Been spending it good, I've been spending it right. So when it's time to change, when the people are looking lonely, look above their heads now, something like an angel plays. Purchasing stuff that I don't need now. I can't buy dinner for a week. Say, do you find it hard to give? Yes, I do. I feel like you do. Well, that's alright, that's fine. You know what's yours is mine, mine, mine. Don't want to make no babies, got no urge to fight. Yeah, it's alright. So when it's time to change, when you're walking around and you're feeling lonely, look above your head, man, something like an angel plays. They are. I've been riding a wave, I've been dancing like a freak. My knuckles are white and I can't speak. I'm writing there like the Pope. He gave me 5 women and a car full of dope, yeah. It's not that far from the start. I spent it all and then they broke my heart. So when it's time to change, when the people in the street are looking lonely, look above their heads now, something like an angel plays.
Lovely.
Yeah, you end it on a little bit of a musical joke there at the end as well, I think.
What? Ding, 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 ding.
Do-do-do-do. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, especially, I even think that little guitar riff right at the end there. Do-ba-do-do-do-do. I mean, it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
I've got a good memory of recording that because there's 2 tracks. So I'm playing guitar and you're playing drums on one track.
Mm-hmm.
And then another track, I'm talking about acoustic guitar. Then the other track is acoustic guitar and you playing percussion.
Oh, yeah.
Like just with one mic, picking them both up.
Yeah.
It's
good
pretty
bedroom,
nice.
Good bedroom recording, that one.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I
like the line, I'm right in there like the Pope.
I'm right in there like the Pope. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I think it is just about liking music, really, and different aspects of liking music. And it's a pretentious thing to say, but, you know, sod it. It's kind of like a religion, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a way, you know, you get obsessed with it and you worship at the altar. And I think that's what I was sort of thinking about, really, because I don't really subscribe to any actual religion.
No.
But probably music is it. You know, that's what gives it that's kind of meaning. And that's what I was talking about with the angels, I think, really.
Music is my first love, and it will be my last. On the Bandcamp page, I called it the Delta Blues of the Travelling DJ, and that was all I said.
Oh, okay. That's quite good. That's quite good.
Yeah, you can have that.
Yeah. So what have we learned?
We've learned. What have we learned?
What have we learned today?
Well, we've learned what Luke would have sounded like if they'd been on Jools Holland. We've learned that sometimes you can just be too angular to make any sense whatsoever. And we've learned that we like music.
Basically, nicely summed up.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
I don't know which. I mean, I think the thing is, the Carry On Domino, it probably should be on the best of, because it's. I've changed my mind now. It should. In the middle of saying that sentence, I've changed my mind. I don't think it should be. I think we'll go with this as a tune, though it is a bit predictable that we like that one, because we kind of go in. We like in the sort of more acoustic duo kind of stuff.
No, not really. Last episode, it was all band stuff that was up for conscription onto the tape. Being conscripted onto the tape. Mm-hmm. I think, the thing I like about the bedroom recordings is because they're all quite varied. And yeah, Carry On Domino, it's such a peculiar song. But yeah, I think this is a tune's an easier listen.
It is.
It's an easier listen. It's kind of.
I'm going to use a word. It's more nimble. It's more nimble.
Yes.
Whereas I think Carry On Domino is quite lolloping. It's a big monster of a beast of a thing.
Yeah. I think, well, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. But I do appreciate Jim's intro. I think my favourite bit of the whole Carry On Domino segment was Jim's word cloud.
Yeah, it was good.
It's better than the song.
Good. Let's hear from him again soon, hopefully.
Thank you very much for listening to the podcast.
Yes, and thank you. But you're forgetting again that we always have a bit of an end section.
Okay, what's the end section then?
The end section today, do you know, I'm sorry, I hope you're going to forgive me, but cool. I'm going to have to do Save Country Music Part 2.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
As opposed to, Part 1, which was last episode, where we were discussing how bad country music that happens now should go away, and we should go back to the true meaning of country music, which is the songs of the underdog.
Yeah.
Right? And the working man. And I've been on a bit of a journey since I've got into Lefty Frizzell, and I've found lots more actually. But there's a particular song that I want you all to go away and listen to this week, which is a song called "The Highway Patrol" by Red Simpson. And Red Simpson was a well-respected singer of trucker-themed country songs. And he was recorded this particular track in 1966, and he was recording right up to the end of his life. And one of the last things he recorded is called "Hey Bin Laden," about the events of September the 11th.
Oh my God!
Which is another song that's not on Spotify actually. So I'm going to enter that one into songs that are not on Spotify, but it is on YouTube.
Hey Bin Laden.
Hey Bin Laden. It's got the great lines, "We got Hitler and Mussolini and we'll get you," which is a good line, which is a good chorus. Anyway, going back to 1966, The Highway Patrolman is, I think, a musically bizarre kind of song, really. Okay. Sonically interesting. I don't see what you think. To me, it's got a little bit of Devo to it. It's certainly retrofuturism.
Okay.
It's from the viewpoint of a highway patrolman who's normally in country songs is a kind of, either the villain or the stooge, really, that the narrator gets won over. But on this particular song, it's from the viewpoint of the highway patrolman, which I really like. And it's just about a working guy, really, who's just doing his job. And he says, "My hours are long and my pay is low." And, he's basically just a regular blue collar guy doing his job the best he can, trying to keep people safe. And I really like it. I find it very refreshing as a song. And that, again, is what country music can be. Yeah. It can be. It can be from an unusual viewpoint.
Well, if you're driving too fast, like you shouldn't do, you can bet your boots I'm coming after you.
Yeah.
If you want to race, then get on a racetrack, because if you try and run away, I'm going to bring you back.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my job. I'm the Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
That's the Highway Patrol by Red Simpson.
It's a good song. He also does another song from an unusual viewpoint called Hello, I'm a Truck, which is the view of being of the truck driving life, but from the view of the truck, which is
Man, I wish you'd chosen that
to be
one.
honest, is less good. It's a less good song though. So Red Simpson, a country singer who's sung from an unusual perspective. That's the end of the bit.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. If you're enjoying it, please tell a friend. If you're enjoying it and you're on a platform that takes reviews, please leave us a rating and review, and subscribe and follow wherever you're listening right now.
Yeah. Hey, we got through it. We did all right today. I thought we might not manage it. I was feeling a little bit under the weather.
You're a bit Sunday morning, weren't you?
The weather, a bit tired, a bit ill. But I think it's all right. I think we did okay.
Yeah, Carry On Domino nearly broke me, to be honest.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you, Giles.
And goodbye, everybody.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.